Listen to why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I'm caught up in the game. My attention is on every play and every whistle. But what I'm missing is a signal coming from my kidneys. That signal isn't like a ref's whistle. It's more of a silent SOS, which could be warning me of an increased risk for events like heart attack or stroke. And a way I can catch that signal? A simple urine test called UACR. If you have type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, talk to your doctor about the UACR test. Detect the SOS. Visit detectthesos.com to learn more.
Dusty Slade joins us. Dusty, I'm sorry you had to hear that screeching as we get ready for this interview.
You know, I just came right into it, and it sounded okay to me. There was some chill guitar, it felt like in there, and you know, I've been doing a lot of radio calls, and I've had to listen to a lot of commercials. So I'll be honest with you, that's better than most of the commercials I've heard.
There you go. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Dusty Slade, our guest. Comedian with a brand new Netflix special called Working Man. My wife and I watched it the other night. We loved it. You've hit your stride in the comedy world, Dusty. Yeah, and I know this didn't come easy for you. So talk about the trials and tribulations of getting to where you are today.
Well, you know, the way I think about it is it's like, if you like what you, I mean, it sounds cliche, you know, but if you like what you're doing, it's not really that hard. It's not really that bad. It's like comedy is a grind, and I went full-time in comedy in 2014. I lived in an attic apartment in Nashville with that wasn't well insulated, very cold in the winter, very hot in the summer, and but it cost me $250 a month. And then I would drive all over the country for, you know, practically no money. I've driven out to Wichita many times for very little money. And but I needed the stage time, and stage time was worth more than money. And I had a lot of fun all along the way. But, yeah, I mean, it is to get to Netflix, to be where I'm at now, it's like I still get to do the same thing. I still get to have fun, but more people come to my show, and I get to put a little more money in my pocket, and it's very exciting. But, you know, it's not as fun when you're selling pesticides on the side during the daytime and doing comedy at night, you know?
I can imagine. So, yeah, it's been less than 10 years since you went full-time. That's relatively quick. Does it feel quick? Did you have a timeline in mind when you decided to go full-time? And what has particularly the last year for you been like? Because that's when you've had a lot more eyeballs on you for various reasons.
Well, this will seem like a lazy way, but I have this thing where I don't really like to set any goals, especially like long-term goals, right? Where I'm like, I just know what it is that I want to do. I'm like, I want to be, you know, a full-time comic, but whatever comes with that comes, right? So I'm like, I didn't say, you know, by this time I want to have a Tonight Show. By this time I want to have a Netflix. I just want to learn this craft of comedy, put myself out there as much as I can, and, you know, kind of let the chips fall. And that's what's happened in a way. It's like I knew that I wanted to be better at comedy all the time. And so it hasn't felt like that it's taken 10 years. And you're right. It is relatively quick. I mean, I started comedy in 2008, but 2014 is when I finally was able to make a living doing it. And that was my goal. Obviously, I wanted to make more money than that because now I have 2 kids. I would not be able to live off what I was making before. But, yeah, I mean, it is a grind, and but it doesn't feel like it's been 10 years. It seems to have flown by. In contrast, I sold pesticides for about 10 years, and I can tell you that seemed like a longer 10.
Talking with Dusty Slay, his new comedy special is on Netflix. It's called Working Man. Is your shirt tucked in right now, Dusty?
You know what? I don't want to be TMI, but I'm not even wearing a shirt right now. But but if
there you go.
But if I were wearing one, I can guarantee it wouldn't be tucked in. I mean, I don't think I've tucked in a shirt. I don't think I've tucked in a shirt since I stopped selling pesticides. And the last couple of years, I walked around with my shirt untucked, even though it was a company policy to tuck it in. I was just at a place where I'm like, I could quit this job at any point. I'm feeling pretty untouchable because if they fired me right now, I'd be okay with it.
So how much have the streaming services? I'm sorry, go ahead. How dare I interrupt a comedian?
Well, that's okay. I wanted to put in the 2-week notice, and I did because that's my favorite 2 weeks of any job, you know? It's worth it to get the job just to put the 2 weeks in. That's like a little vacation right there at the end, you know? It's where I get to say my favorite phrase at work, which is, I don't care, I'm about to quit, you know?
How much have these streaming services just created more opportunity for not only you, but a bunch of other comedians? It seems like you guys have benefited from that as much as anybody in the entertainment world.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it still takes a lot to get on Netflix, but, you know, the ability to post your own content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, I mean, it's changed the game. I mean, you know, when I started comedy, if I had been able, now who knows how it would have affected me, but you can always look back and say whatever. But if I had had the ability to post my bits online in the way that we can now, back then, I mean, who knows how much faster things could have possibly happened for me. Because it's like, when I started, there was YouTube, and you could post to YouTube, but it's like, to get into some sort of algorithm it was a lot harder. Now we have YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels where more people than just the people that follow you have access to those. So, you know, you can have one bit go viral, pick up a bunch of followers, and suddenly now you can get booked in comedy clubs. But, you know, it's still work to get on Netflix. I mean, having a Netflix is like having an HBO special in the 90s.
So I'll bite on the pesticides thing. How many mosquitoes do you think have been killed thanks to your salesmanship ability? Surely there's someone out there without West Nile virus that has you to thank, right?
Well, I was, you know, in a lot of ways, I was not a good pesticide salesman, but in a lot of ways, I was a real pro out there. I mean, I had a thing that I don't think anybody else was doing and that me and another guy might have invented. And we found a way to put Cutter, that was our brand, cans of Cutter near every single cash register in a Lowe's and Home Depot. And nobody ever showed me the numbers, but I bet I was selling more of that than anybody else in the entire company. I mean, we were crushing it. And you know what? I probably saved many lives from West Nile virus and malaria. I mean, I'm not a hero, but you could make a case for it, you know?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. Dusty Slay is our guest, so we're talking comedy. So when you were young, and I work with a bunch of young people in my occupation, we're always telling them to have big dreams and have passion and those kinds of things. So when you were young, when did comedy first enter your brain? Was that the thing you were pointing toward from a young age, or were there other things that had your interest?
In some weird way, I thought I was destined to be famous, but I had no idea what for, you know? Like I used to do weird imaginative things like I was talking to the TV or talking to some people, but I never actually made the connection that the people on TV doing stand-up comedy is something that I could do one day. I had no idea how I would get famous, but I just thought, you know, I feel like I'm bound to do it. And now I'm at a place where it took me so long from that weird imaginative place to where I am now that now I don't even want to be famous. I just want to be, kind of famous enough for people to buy tickets to my show. So I feel like things all worked out the way they should have. But I was 21 years old when I took my first improv class in Charleston, South Carolina. And that's where I first kind of thought that this could be a path to something bigger. And it wasn't until 2008 that I started doing stand-up comedy. And it wasn't until 2012 that I started figuring out how to make a career out of it. So I was 31. It took me 10 years from the time I ever did any comedy to actually being like, you know what? We could make a living doing this. And then it was, 2 years after that, once I actually started putting it into action, being like, this is something that I can do for a living. It took me, only a couple of years.
So, I mean this as a compliment, so I hope I can convey that because your material is obviously excellent. And your style is, it feels like you're almost just riffing up there. Like things come to your mind and you say them. I don't think that's the case. So is that what you're going for? Just that kind of a little bit more informal because it's unique?
Well, I think that it is all about my writing technique, that now that I have enough material that I feel like I can go on stage at any time and do an hour of comedy and be fine, right? So now I have this bank of comedy, so I can go up and I can go, all right, I know this joke is going to work, and then I know this joke is going to work. So in between those two jokes, I'm going to throw in this new idea that I've been thinking about. And so I kind of let my natural ability to be funny take over. So I do this joke that I already know is going to work. I get my laughs, and then I go into this new idea. And then in this new idea, I start trying to find ways to make it funny on the spot. And then a lot of times it's not funny yet. So I do it, it bombs, I throw a wave up, I go, we're having a good time, and everybody laughs. And then we hit the next joke that I also know is going to work. And I say I know it'll work, meaning it's probably going to work. There's never a way to know if it's going to work. So that way, what happens is I'm writing a joke on stage. So I'm writing it in an off-the-cuff way. So the way I initially write the joke is by riffing, is by stuff coming off my head. And then I just remember how I told it. So each time I'm telling it, now it's, I'm telling it in that way.
Final moments here with Dusty Slay, comedian. His tour begins or continues this week in Huntsville. He'll be there all weekend. Alabama, not really within driving distance, but he will be in Tulsa coming up in mid-February down at the Bricktown Comedy Club in Tulsa. So there's your opportunity to go see Dusty. I want to ask you, you mentioned when one of your jokes bombs, and we watched you the other night, your Working Man special on Netflix, and it was constant laughter throughout. Did you feel like any of that bombed in your brain?
No, I don't feel like that, but by that point, by the time I'm ready to do it for an audience like that, to put on a special, then I've already worked those jokes a million times. I've already traveled the country, figuring out exactly what I want to go in that hour. So by the time I make it there, I already feel good about it. There might be a riff or two that I throw in there out of nowhere, and maybe that doesn't go the way I wanted it to go. But that's all part of it for me. That's all part of my show, and I like to try to put that out there. There was like a spot towards the end where people start to get a little rowdy, and I go, well, we're losing it. I could have easily cut that out of there and not had that, but I'm like, to me, that's a real show kind of moment where towards the end of the show, people are a little too boozed up. They've been quiet. I mean, the show is, it ended up being about 67 minutes. So they've been quiet for an hour, and they're starting to get itchy. They're like ready to say something. So that's like a real moment. And I'm like, I don't want to cut that out because I want people to see that sort of stuff. In one of my albums, somebody drops a beer bottle on the floor and you hear the clanging. And it's like, I left it in because I want those real show moments. So I don't even know what the question was at this point. I get so into talking that I don't even know what you asked.
I completely forget.
So, Dusty, real quick, I love your we are having a good time. So I love your musical observations. Obviously, the bit about It's 5 o'clock somewhere. You have some of those in this special. I particularly like, because I've been saying the same thing about Call Me the Fireman for a long time. Have you thought about or chosen one of your next songs to kind of pan?
Well, you know what? I just thought of this today. I've been on the radio and I've been talking all day. And I was thinking about the song Hard Working Man by Brooks and Dunn. You know, he all throughout the song, he's talking about, you know, not having money and how he has to work so hard. But then at one point he's like, come Friday night, I like to party hard, you know, and then he's like, I like to spend my whole paycheck on some weekend beauty. And I'm like, well, there's your problem right there. You just identified the problem. Maybe don't spend your money. Maybe don't spend your whole paycheck at the bar, and you might not have to work so hard. So that joke's not fleshed out yet, but I think that will be my next song that I take on.
I love it.
Dusty, we can't express our appreciation. We know you have a lot of obligations with media. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your skyrocketing career.
Well, I appreciate you, and thanks for having me on here, and I hope to come back to Wichita soon. I've been there a bunch of times, and I love coming there. You got great barbecue, and I always love doing comedy there.
Well, we hope to see you soon as well. Thanks, Dusty.
Thank you.
Let's see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You're jamming your favorite song, and while you aren't missing a beat, you could be missing a signal from your body. It's an SOS from your kidneys, and it doesn't sound like music at all. It's silent. High blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and other risk factors can quietly stress the kidneys, leading to negative impacts on the heart. That's why you should ask your doctor about a simple urine test called UACR. Most miss the signal for hidden kidney disease and related heart risk. You shouldn't. Visit detectthesos.com today to learn more.
At Byers Volkswagen, we've been family-owned since 1897, built on trust, driven by innovation. And now, buying your next Volkswagen is easier than ever. Shop online, customize your deal, and finalize everything from home. Just stop by to pick up the keys. It's that simple.
Drive home a new 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan SFWD for $336 for 36 months with zero due at signing.
The next generation shops online, and we're driving with them at columbusvolkswagen.com or visit us by the airport.
See dealer for details. Offer ends 1/5/26.
Joy to the world. Pluto TV is free with all the best movies.
Stream blockbuster hits from 21 Jump Street to Ted to The Expendables on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.